Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm making some large family style chicken pot pie. I actually did a poll over on my Instagram. If you are not following me on Instagram, it's The Life of a Homemaker. Go check it out. It's not very exciting, but I'm over there sometimes. Anyway, I am making some chicken pot pie and I did a poll and I asked, would you like some voiceover? Would you like music? Or would you like a combo or something like that? I don't remember exactly what I wrote. But anyway, it was overwhelming and I think unanimous at this point that everyone wanted a voiceover and not the music. So here I am doing a voiceover. I would love to be able to have a channel where I could do like an ASMR cooking, but I'm telling you what, 6 kids in my house, it is never quiet enough to do something like that, where those like 30 seconds or less at the beginning of the video, that was a freak occurrence. Like, that's not a thing. Here, I'll give you an example. Chicken pot pie. What's fascinating is that all I did was stop talking in my voice recording and put the volume up at that spot, and that's what was happening at that given moment, which makes me laugh. But there is almost always a child that is coming to ask me, A, what is for dinner, or B, what I'm doing, or just coming to tell me something, or fighting. I mean, there's just never an end of excitement. So basically, what I'm doing here, I'm just chopping up the veggies that go in this chicken pot pie. I have made the mistake of putting garlic in it. I don't think any of my family likes garlic in it. So I'm just doing your mirepoix, which is just onion, carrot, and celery. I use yellow onions for essentially everything. That's my favorite kind of onion. And I'm washing up this celery and chopping it up. And I like to have very small pieces in my chicken pot pie. That's why I'm cutting the celery in half. This is one of those exciting times in adulthood when I get to do something that just, it just brings me joy. I think that's an overused phrase, but this really does. If you check out this chicken that I am putting into the pan, this is chicken that I raised on my own property by myself and then butchered by myself. And you can actually see the difference in the color of the chicken breast, which I find fascinating. I have a video, I will link it, of me, I think, doing some of the meat bird process at some point. I'm pretty sure I did a video on that. But it definitely hits different when your meal is something that you raised, and that's pretty cool. So I have this chicken in here cooking up. It is seasoned. I have it just cooking in olive oil. I just wanted to share a really quick tip on when you're cooking in either cast iron or enameled cast iron. When you want to check your chicken to see if it is done, or your meat at all, if it sticks, it's not ready to flip. Now look at this piece. Boom, flipped, because it was all caramelized and brown, and that's how you know that it's done and ready to flip. So when you're trying to flip it and it doesn't want to move, that means it's not ready to flip yet. One more quick tip that I wanted to give you. I wanted you to see and note the color on the bottom of my pan. All of that is flavor. Do not wash out your pan. Do not try to clean that up, or do not switch pans. Look at me dumping all my veggies right on top. Maybe I do add a little bit more oil in there, but the veggies are going to steam, and you'll see as they steam, they're going to pull up all of that color, and all of that goes into the veggies, and that becomes flavor. So you want to make sure you don't clean your pan. One thing to note here as I'm cutting up this chicken, I was mostly trying to get a bunch of color on it. Trying to cook it most of the way, but you can see that it's not entirely cooked when you're looking at me cut it up. This chicken is going to be cooked 2 more times. So I'm going to chop it up into bite-sized bits. It's going to go into the pot pie filling, and then it's also going to get baked for another maybe 30-45 minutes. So this is not done cooking, but it also has a whole lot more cooking to go with the process. So you can see here as I'm stirring my veggies that the color is completely coming off the bottom of that pan there. That is your flavor. That's what you want. You want to take that flavor, and you can see my whole pan is just clean on the bottom. To share here that there are 8 of us in my family. You can see that there is a baby on my chest there and a carrier. I am a nursing mom, so I feel like I count for 2 people when deciding how much food to make. But this chicken pot pie is a great recipe for when you're trying to feed a crowd and use less meat. So I would say that was probably 2 pounds of chicken breast and maybe 1.5 pounds. That wasn't very much chicken, but because I'm adding the veggies, because I'm adding the chicken broth, that really helps that meat to stretch a lot. So this is a good idea if you're trying to have a more budget-friendly homemade meal. This recipe I'm making dairy-free because I have to be dairy-free, but it does not have to be a dairy-free recipe. So I'm going to use olive oil here, and I'm going to add the flour and make a roux with the olive oil. You could do that with any type of fat, honestly. I think it would probably taste the best with butter, but again, I'm dairy-free, so that's why I'm going to be using olive oil. This recipe is one of our family favorites. Chicken pot pie is something that everyone will eat every single time I make it, so that's on the rotation quite frequently. I know this might be kind of annoying that I can't write out a recipe for you, but I don't measure, and you can see that in what I'm doing. I measured absolutely nothing that I have put in this dish. The only reason I'm using a spoon here is because it was just cleaner to do that than use my hands. I wasn't measuring, I wasn't counting. This is how I make a roux. This is the thickening agent in the chicken pot pie to make the sauce that goes in it that holds it together thicker. I like mine on the thicker side, not very runny. I'm also making this chicken pot pie with only the pie crust on the top, not on the top and bottom. At this point, while I was cooking, I hadn't actually decided that I was going to be making chicken pot pie. From here, I could make a chicken soup. I could make chicken and noodles. I could make chicken and dumplings. I could even make a chicken pot pie with like biscuits on the top. I just hadn't decided yet what I was going to do. And at this point too, I was like, okay, well, maybe I can make a pie crust from scratch because I can't have butter. And so you'll actually see me here using bacon grease. At this point, I think my camera battery is about to die because I have not vlogged in so long. I only have 1 camera battery, and I will eventually in this video be switching to my cell phone and using that. I may use that in the future all the time, but I'm looking up a pie crust recipe and decided I was going to use some leftover bacon grease because that was a type of fat that I had, and pie crusts are very forgiving. Plus, bacon grease makes everything taste better. Now, I'm pretty excited. I finally got this tool here, a pastry cutter. Is that what that thing's called? Anyway, I never had one of these, and it is fantastic, and it works great for making biscuits and pastries of all kinds. I highly recommend. I will link down below. At this point, my camera battery died, and I was trying to show myself rolling out this dough with my cell phone camera, but I hit record too late. So you get the after. You can imagine, it's just like any pie dough. Anyway, I rolled it out as big as my pan. If you're noticing little specks and spots in my pie dough, it's because I used unfiltered bacon drippings. So those are little tiny bacon chunks just for added taste.